is your, I guess, vent right now on Before Your Weekend regarding women having children that they can't afford, or people having children that they can't afford?
And we're back once again. Welcome to Before You Weekend. If you're here, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe as we entertain and educate ourselves over this conversation. With me today, I have none other than poet, author, voiceover artist, Ndlovu.
Hi. Mufukeng next time, right?
Oh, my bad.
I mean.
But then, on the previous episodes, I've been using that other surname.
Yeah, I know. I've been trying to just say, okay, can we just go L&M? Let's go L&M.
Okay.
My chances of getting a man whose surname starts with an M is pretty high.
Very
so
high.
I'll be safe. But
Okay.
you were good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, and next to me is actor, YouTuber, influencer, pastor, dancer,
Hallelujah. Yeah.
drug dealer, and father.
Oh my God.
Ndlovu, what's up, man?
Hey, thanks for having me. I don't know about the pastor and drug dealer being in the same sentence. You gotta choose one.
Listen,
I'm neither, by the way.
I would not be surprised if there are pastors out there who are also drug dealers.
I mean, look, there's nothing new under the sun, so
Yeah.
Your YouTube channel is hella addictive. So I'm not too sure how far you want to stray away from that whole
at
dealer
least
bit.
it's a healthy drug.
It's a healthy drug.
It's
a
good
good
conversation. We make you introspect, and then you have a little bit of fun now and again.
Thank you for that question. Actually, Ndlovu's Uncut
Yes.
has a bit pressure on your guys' relationship to
No.
kind of perform a certain way outside.
No. We put out what we want, when we want, how we want. Literally, there's no stuff that's curated for the sake of being on the channel.
Yeah. I like the vulnerability of what you guys do.
Yeah, and the reason why my ear is a little squeaky is because people get a pinch
Yeah.
of honesty and authenticity, and then it's like, man, you guys are so vulnerable. You're so you let us in. And it's just there's a lot of nonsense out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot that we don't share. Because we still want to protect ourselves and we want to be private.
Yeah.
But just because, we're quick to tears and all of that, it's not that deep. It's just because it's conversations that you're not having and you should be having.
I like that. I feel like that should be practiced in the church.
Facts.
I feel like
Oh, yeah.
churches would flourish again if pastors were honest. And be as honest as you want to be. It's going to be, which is also quite risky because sometimes when you're honest, to that degree, you got to pull everyone else into your mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also, that's the reality that we live in, because you have, these churches and I mean, we are the church, but you have these church environments where it's everyone seems like they are good. That is rubbish. Stats tell us that 70% of men in church are addicted to pornography and
Yes.
50% of pastors are addicted to pornography. Yeah. Most out there. So ask your pastor.
It's very believable.
Kamban.
Have you seen pastors choke on questions in front of people? It's hilarious.
Always.
Oh, especially when it happens on TV. I couldn't help but laugh. And it was sad to see, but Joel Osteen, case in point, when they asked him a few years ago.
Yeah.
So you're telling me, I think the question was, do gay people go to hell? Only God decides. Oh. Oh, sir.
Pick something. Stick to it.
But
stick
even
to
that,
your truth.
I think because of how people are so afraid of being cancelled, or how they're going to be seen, or how the masses are gonna come for them based on what they say, especially in regards to the LGBT community. And I don't know the other letters. It's they get so tongue-tied when it comes to answering. And this is not even just pastors, anyone in general. It's so what do you think of transgender?
Yeah.
hey man, do your thing, hey, and it's like, no, but
Yeah.
what do you think
Yeah.
of it?
Have you-
Because now we've lost the thing where you can have an opinion that doesn't support it,
Yeah.
where they shouldn't be an issue. It's your thing, it's just not my thing.
Yeah. Have you guys ever been cancelled before there was cancel culture? Like you did or said something and you just saw a whole group just go, you know what?
I got
We're done
pregnant
with you.
and I
Oh,
was in
what?
church. So I was cancelled of everything
Within the church.
within the church, yeah.
And you
'Cause
weren't married.
We weren't married. Well, yes, no, we weren't married. And then Uputiza, because he was there in the sound and the whatever, they were like, we need this one. So they brought him back.
Oh.
And then I was just like, okay, because here's my evidence walking around with me. So yeah, that was my first
That was your first
experience.
experience. Damn.
Did he work in the church or was he serving in the church?
He was serving. I mean, we could have clapped our way through the worship, 9 months or something, but they were like, no, Magabui. But yeah,
Damn.
it was hectic. Everything, you are cut off. Everything. People don't speak to you anymore. They can barely look at you. So yeah.
You see, and then you have an experience like that, and I don't know where you are now with your faith, but that can completely turn someone from their faith.
Yeah.
And now it becomes a God, a Jesus thing, where it's like, no,
Yeah.
it's a people thing.
Yeah.
They decided that.
Yeah.
Jesus didn't.
Yeah.
God didn't. So, yeah, I've had an experience, but I think it's not pre-cancel culture. It's within.
Okay.
It wasn't too bad. So when myself and my wife were in New York last year, the whole pit bull thing was happening.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And people were wanting to ban pit bulls. I don't really tweet much, but I happened to tweet this time
You
around.
decided now's the time.
And I was like, yo, listen, when it comes to these animals, yes, they're animals and, they've got their own brains and stuff like that. But we have to be cognizant of the environment that these animals are within.
Yeah.
The owner plays a huge role in the temperament of this animal. So we mustn't be quick to say, let's ban the pit bull. Yes, you can give me a list of how many countries have banned the pit bull, but look at the environment. You can't look at a pit bull chowing a zenge. And then you're like, yo, look at this animal. It's like, but for it to chow that zenge, what
Yeah,
environment is
yeah.
it in?
Why did you change your accent there?
No, because it's a zenge.
It makes
dog.
it as
Like,
how else would you say
it's like
Zenke?
you
How
can't say
else?
stop nonsense in
Stop nonsense.
Again, guys.
Listen to that.
Stop nonsense and stop nonsense is two totally different things.
Okay.
Stop nonsense is a wall.
You understand it like
Stop
that.
nonsense is you better stop your shit.
You see?
So
Okay, I hear you. Sorry, and then continue.
So I tweeted what I tweeted, and then I went to sleep because of time zones.
yeah.
Man, my Twitter was buzzing when I woke up. Like, there were articles that had been written by some tabloids. It was a thing. And
Based on
then-
your tweet?
Based on my tweet, yeah. It was like, Hungani supports pit bulls. It was a
my.
whole thing. People were having me. It was the first time, like, I felt like I'm trending, even though I wasn't trending. But I just felt like, yo, this is worthy
Yeah.
of me to say, like, I'm trending for not a good
How did you
reason.
feel?
I felt like very misunderstood.
Okay.
So I have a pit bull, hence me saying what I'm saying. My pit bull is probably like the friendliest pit bull you'll ever find. We rescued it from the SPCA. It was afraid of everything and anything. And now it's like just a wagging tail of a pit bull. Even when people come into the property, that's like the first thing that they see, and then they're afraid, and then it's like, oh, I can't think all right. Because it's so chilled. What they
Yeah.
should be worried for is the Labrador. Nah, let's not go there because y'all want to ban pit bulls, right?
That's interesting. That's very interesting. I think my first experience of cancel culture beforehand was in high school. I think it was in grade 9. I started this whole cell group thing in high school,
Obvious.
and it grew. It started growing. So it started with 3
So
people.
you're the pastor. in the room.
Oh, relax. Hold on. And I think like 2 weeks down the line, there's like 30 people in the room. People asking questions. So, and then there's this Indian girl. I remember her name. I can't say it just in case she checks it out on Facebook. She puts her hand up. She's like, so you're telling me because I don't believe in your Jesus, I'm going to hell? I had no pre-training on how to lead cells and how to
shit,
handle
yeah.
questions. I just said, yeah. And I continued with the message.
Oi.
People walked out immediately. And now you're that guy, like, yeah, that guy's too much.
Oh,
That
shit.
was weird.
Yeah.
For the rest of that term, people coming
I
to
mean, you should have just said, look, the Bible says every tongue will confess, you know?
You
But
still
anyway.
you haven't answered us, TK. Answer
You
us
haven't
now.
answered. That's the thing, because we want what we want, right?
But you see, that's the thing. Like, people make it a you thing. People make it a her thing. And
Yeah.
it's like, no, but this is what it says. Because
Yeah.
this is what we're following. So, like, my opinion really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But what does this say? So if it says that you have to make Jesus your Lord and Savior for your salvation, well, then how does that answer your question?
I think it's because as human beings, we want to connect with other human beings.
No, we want logic.
Yeah, but
That's what we want.
we would rather have the library in human form and not in a book.
No.
So if you can't stand.
I also
on
want to
something-
be able to blame you.
Yes, I need to blame somebody.
Because I can't go to Jesus and be
Yeah.
like,
Your
no,
niggas telling the
Yeah.
truth, but I
that's
don't
why they
believe it.
walked out of your cell group.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, we're gonna call a doctor soon, but before we call this doctor who wants to vent about something, I want to know from you guys, and I asked this question up on Instagram. Please put your answer in the comments. If there's an insecurity you could get rid of by paying for it, what would that insecurity be?
Man, why are you guys looking at me?
Ladies,
Why is it
first.
always women that have the insecurities
No,
with
we
our
all have.
BBLs and our... Like, why?
Have
Why
you
is
seen
it-
an insecure man? It's a mess.
That's true. That's true. And it's sad.
And
Shame.
there's a lot of us. Maybe not Xhosa men.
They aren't. They really... I don't want to get into that. They really, really aren't. But I think at your next... men's seminar, whatever it is that you guys conveniently go to on the
Men's
14th
conference.
conference on the 14th of Feb, like get a Xhosa man. In particular, I think his name on TikTok is Ndim Umtaka or Dimum somebody, but he's the man, yabon. Yes, on TikTok. But he's yabo. Get him to speak to you guys. Not for anything else. It's just that he's a speaker, and I think he would be able to get the message across. On how to be confident. If you're anything else,
How to be confident.
how to be confident. It's a thing, right? How to step up to a woman and not make a fool of yourself.
Sounds like the mystery man. You know him?
No.
Yeah, that sounds very much like the mystery man.
Guys-
All the guys who know the mystery man know exactly who I'm talking about, right?
Guys, listen. You guys have a lot to learn. I mean, I no longer play around like that with the Xhosas, but you've got a lot to learn from there. For me, it would definitely be my height. I would like to get rid of this feeling that I get when I walk into a room and I am the tallest in the room. It's really uncomfortable. I don't like being the center of attention, which is kind of weird because here I am almost week in, week out. But that forces you then. And then I also like heels, which I, stop
Hectic.
wearing. And it's not just a little kitten heel, because then it's like, what's the point? So I wear heels and then I walk in and then I've got a huge ass voice. So it's like all eyes on me. So I would like to get rid of just being self-conscious of who I am when I walk into the room, and then just more step into what I am, I think.
But what causes that insecurity?
Society, I think. There's so much. If you walk into a room with the Caucasians, I'm safe because the ladies are tall, and if they aren't tall, the men appreciate tall women, right?
What? Really?
Yeah. It's not a big thing there because they're all tall. I remember when I was in school, most of my friends were my height. It wasn't even a thing where she's the tallest in the room, right? It was just a thing at that time because most of them were white. So now with if you're walking into a room with black people, I mean, even in my family, I can almost count on one hand. Actually, there aren't any women of my height. It's my brothers, just a few of them even. If you're walking into a room and it's predominantly black people, I'm going to be almost like the tallest in the room. There'll be a few men, that might be around my height, which is 175. So the rest, it's just, all tall. So I know for a fact if I walk into church, which is the reason why I don't like joining a new gym, or I don't like going to church for the first time, because you walk in and everybody is looking at you. So I don't need that kind of, attention. So I try to, bring
Come to
myself
our
down a bit.
church. No discrimination whatsoever.
Are there white people there? Do you
Plenty.
sing white music?
We sing Bethel, Hillsong.
Sometimes I
Maverick.
just want a young Alpha and Omega.
No, TP
You know?
does Alpha and Omega. He
There
also
we go.
does yeah.
No,
all
I'd
of-
love it. I definitely would come.
Cool.
I'm looking for a church because, wow.
I'll
What is-
invite you. New Covenant
you.
Church, Bryanston. So you know that there's
Plug.
Caucasians.
This is a paid ad. What insecurity would you pay for to get rid of?
If you had asked me this maybe like 2 years ago, I would say my eye bags. I got them from my grandmother. So she actually went through like surgery to get rid of hers because like they were like hectic. And then like a couple of months later, they came back stronger than before because they were like,
Damn.
"You try to get rid of us, girl. We're back
Shut
now." So I've kind of overcame that insecurity. Yeah, I mean that's why now I don't even wear glasses. But right now, like I mentioned earlier on, like I'm in a good space. I'm in a good place, like mentally, emotionally. Yeah, you have like dips and stuff, but like I'm in a good place. I don't have an insecurity that's like, yo, it's there. Yeah, I guess, yeah. I mean, I guess I could like to get rid of the hail damage on my car, but
I think it would have to be the language barrier thing for me. I think
explain this thing.
okay, so and I have to figure out a way to explain it properly because I know I'm going to be dragged and roasted anyway. So let's just do it. I can understand Vernac. I can't speak Vernac.
Of all languages within
Of
SA.
all languages. I'm Tswana.
Okay.
So if I'm at a gathering and everyone's speaking Tswana, I understand everything that's going on. Maybe for those who are like super fluent in Tswana, I'll be lost here and there.
Yeah.
Sure, vocab wise.
But if you come and speak to me in Tswana, I'll understand everything saying and I'll respond in English. Now, thankfully, I think I've met people who are like me when I was like a young adult, and only then I realized, oh, there's other people who are like this.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why it's an insecurity is because the people on the outside don't realize how much effort you try to learn.
Sure.
You try to
Oh,
build
yeah.
confidence up, and every time you tried, you either get roasted or teased on how you say certain things. So it's like, if you're gonna roast me anyway, why try?
Yeah.
Sure.
Like, why not help me figure this thing out?
Yeah.
It's easier for me to learn Swahili when I go to East Africa because everyone's going, oh, he's learning. Let's help him
let's
out.
help.
And I wouldn't be surprised if I know Swahili first over Tswana.
Yo, that's interesting.
Not in South Africa. Here we're not about that life.
Yeah.
I was about to say, is it not maybe like a cultural thing here at home to ridicule those that don't know instead of helping them to learn?
True. I agree. Yeah, I think
It's
it
like,
is that.
cheese boy.
Oh
Exactly,
my
yeah.
gosh.
Like,
Coconut.
It's not by choice, fam. Like,
I am trying.
The last thing I would have
Yeah.
done. Last. Yeah.
Ironically, for me personally, I believe if I was introduced or if I learned the language through music as a kid, I probably wouldn't be able to speak. Because when I'm playing, like, for example, Zulu worship music, I can sing along.
Sure.
And it's easy to get into because I dance, I understand rhythm. So when I hear the words, I can break the words apart.
you don't?
Yeah, talk to Calvin. He'll tell you. We've been dancing together on stages and stuff.
I don't believe it, but it's
I gotta see that one.
Don't worry, I'll send you a video of me twerking.
I don't need to see that either.
You know, this whole thing of languages actually makes me think of. So I've got family members who are in the very same situation, which comes from our parents' generation of wanting us to know English and to speak English well.
Yeah.
At that, not just like know it, to the point where at home, the parents would speak in Tsonga, but they would be forced to respond in English.
Yeah.
Just to keep that practice going. And now they are adults, and it's like they can hear, they can understand, but like it's a challenge. But because of just wanting to try and figure out like how their kids will be, and it's like, yeah, but I want my child to be able to speak, or I want my child to be able to understand. And it's like, it's a challenge, and I don't think it's one that we acknowledge enough within our society, because it's like, you should know.
Yeah, you're black. Why not?
You should know. And it's like, yeah, but I wasn't raised like that, you know. So I think it's something worth definitely discussing and actually figuring out like how it affects the individuals themselves more than how we from the outside perceive it.
Yeah.
But then, like on my side, because I also grew up speaking only English, and then Afrikaans was my second language, I made the decision that when I have kids, they will be taught Sesotho, whatever it was first, and then only English.
But by
so it was
who?
At that point, my mom was still alive, and obviously, then hopefully, baby daddy. I didn't. In my head, it was going to be happily ever after, so we were safe. So when I had my daughter, I said Sesotho first, and then we'll go with the English. She does not care for English right now. Like, she will speak English if she really, really has to. And if she speaks it for too long, you can see how it's like, why am I doing this again? And she went to an English-speaking school. I speak English most of the time at home anyway. So it's not like she wasn't exposed to English. It's just a choice that she made that I will start here. I will speak your English if I see that you are not connecting. Other than that, you get with the program, which I respect.
Yeah.
My son, on the other hand, he is twanging and it's just Americanus in the house the whole day. Like, we sometimes look and we're like, it's 8:00 in the morning, boy. There's no need for you to be talking English at this time, So that was my choice, but see how they turned out, But it's all a choice. I think in South Africa, we just so... We just worry about ourselves. We don't care about your upbringing, because if you just ask the simple question, why is it that you are this way? And then I understand, and then I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Because I was at a funeral, my aunt's funeral, and everybody remembered me as the girl that only spoke English.
Wow.
I bet you if I go back now and say, what's my name? They have no idea. But if you say the one that spoke English, then that's how they remember you. And I mean, at this age, that's not how you want to be introduced, So yeah, it's all choice. For me, I'm learning now sign language, because you can walk around wherever we are.
South African
sign language. And if somebody's speaking KwaZulu, Sesotho, Tsonga, whatever it is, you can find somebody around you to interpret what they're saying. But if somebody who is hard of hearing steps up to you, look for somebody else that can interpret, and you can't. And I feel that that's something that is so unfair to everybody else. So if everybody just makes that little, just that choice, that decision to say, okay, Margaret works for me. Let me learn how to speak proper Sezulu, Sesotho, or just at least get the words right and not increase the tone of, like, the level of my voice, because it's not she's hard of hearing. It's just she doesn't speak your language. So if employers could do that, if peers could do that, it would be so much easier. And then we wouldn't have that complex.
Listen to you writing a book.
I mean.
Can I just ask, have you ever met a Margaret under the age of 35?
I was going to ask, where's Margaret? Why is that the name of choice?
Hi, man, guys. I need to, the person that works in your household, and this is bad. Please don't come. Nobody knows me, so nobody's going to come for me, so I'm cool. But that's just how it was. It was Ulisbeth, Margaret. Those were the names. Those are the names. No, it's not the name that the employer gave them. It's the name that the parent gave them. That at least if you've got Elizabeth and Margaret, I don't know what their thinking was, but maybe you're employable. I don't know. But most of the people who were house executives or home I don't know what the correct term is. Domestic workers, those were the names in my day that they had. So when I remember, even when I was now thinking of a name for my daughter, my mom came with all of those crazy names, and I was
Margaret.
Abo Margaret, and I was like, girl, no, it's not how it works, And then I gave her her first name is actually in Swahili, so she's like, baby daddy's not Swahili, you aren't. I was like, it's the name. That matters to me. And everybody else will just have to learn how to pronounce the name. Let's get with the program. So that is why I said Margaret, no Lisbeth, Nabani.
Definitely.
About Dora.
Dorothy.
Dorothy.
This is bad. Okay, so there's a person who's been watching Before You Weekend. She's a doctor, and we're gonna call her now because she has a scream. When I get on the line, you guys can hear her for yourselves because I don't want to represent her in saying this. You guys can share your opinion on what she's about to say. Dr. Fulu.
Hello. Hey,
Dr. Fulu, hi. You're live on Before You Weekend. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you today?
Good, good. So earlier today, you sent me a voice note because you wanted us to cover a specific topic that is bothering you. Do you want to share your screen with the people?
Yes. So I think I've just been seeing this ever since I started working about, women having multiple children, that they cannot seem to take care of. And, it's just so sad to see kids, growing up in poverty and all of that. And because maybe, I don't know, their mothers are not well educated when it comes to contraception. Contraception is free, all public clinics and all public hospitals in South Africa. It's to a point where they can even tell you truth. If that's the type of contraception that you want to do. We see eighth pregnancy, you're still unemployed, your husband is unemployed, you live in poverty, you live in a shack, overcrowding, no food, you've had multiple admissions in hospital for a kid because of severe acute malnutrition, but yet, you're still pregnant with your child. Some hospitals even have kids that are abandoned. The mother gives birth and runs away, and the child is just stuck in the hospital because they get pregnant with an unwanted pregnancy, and they cannot afford. They'll still even ask you for taxi money to go home, and you're just like, ma'am, contraception is free. You do not have to live like this. There's no need for you to keep on having children you cannot afford to take care of,
Okay, before I ask, do you guys have any questions?
Hi, Dr. Fulu. This is Hungani speaking.
Hi.
So I just wanted to get clarity. So is your I guess vent right now on Before You Weekend regarding women having children that they can't afford, or people having children that they can't afford?
Oh, to me, it's just like everybody. It's literally like everyone. Because I think, I would say everyone because, contraception works both ways. I know in my relationship, my husband supports me on contraception, and he understands that because we're not in a position to have children. So, yeah, I still don't think that the blame should go to women because I think it works both ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks
Actually, I've never thought of it like that. Thank you.
Thanks for that. My second and last question is, in the conversations that you've had with some of these ladies...
It's great thing. Can you continue?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I was saying, so with the ladies that you've happened to have conversations with about this very topic that you're sharing with us, what have you seen in the conversations that you've had when you've tried to educate them on contraceptives and so forth? Have you seen that they either lack the information and the knowledge, or they knew it and still went ahead with it for maybe, I believe there's a grant that some people get for having kids, just to kind of get an understanding of what you've experienced?
Well, it's different. It's different. I've worked in like multiple places now, and everywhere you go, it's just, with some people, they are not, they are afraid of being on contraception because their churches do not allow them. So then women like that are not even willing to listen to you because they're like, man, I'm not gonna do it anyway. And then also there are just some misconceptions that people have, and they grew up knowing this, that they will not listen to you. That if you're on contraception for too long, when you finally fall pregnant, you'll have twins, or you'll never fall pregnant again. Or if you're on contraception, you will be on mental for the rest of your life. And no matter how much you try to reason with them, because that is the information they grew up listening to, they are not open to listening to you. And also, I think another thing is that everyone is just only familiar with just the oral contraception and the injection that you get every 3 months or every 2 months. Those are the most common ones. And so some people had like negative effects of those, so they just gave up on contraception entirely. And so then when you try to them, they're like, sorry ma'am, I've tried contraception, it doesn't work, I give up. So I've tried multiple routes, I've tried multiple ways to educate women on contraception, and I know that at local clinics they do also educate women on contraception, but we live in a society where misconceptions are a thing. The things your grandmother told you when you were growing up, like your Bible, so then you do not want to listen to anything else. So there's also that.
So pack your scream in one line. What would you tell whoever's watching this to do or stop doing?
There is contraception for everyone. There is a type of contraception out there that will work for you. If you are not financially, emotionally, and mentally ready to have a child, please be on contraception. The ramifications of having an unwanted child are a lot.
Why didn't you just say sex is not for broke people? So if you're broke, stop it. Like, that's all we need to say.
That's what I keep saying. Broke niggas do not deserve sex, but people get mad when I say that. So I'm just gonna say.
You're a doctor. You're not allowed to say it. We'll say it for you. Exactly. If you're broke, don't have sex.
Broke niggas do not deserve sex. Stop doing it, man.
Broke people. People, women included. If you're broke, you shouldn't be having sex. Okay,
I just got to the notion of my man taking care of me all the time. So then that's why I'm like, broke men.
Okay, doctor, it's been good. Thank you for this vent. We will take it up with the people.
Okay, thank you so much, TK. I hope to get like some feedback and start a conversation going,
Okay, this is where we're going to end the call.
Thank you so much, TK.
Cool. Bye.
Bye.
That's interesting. I've actually never asked, what struggles do doctors experience at work?
Yeah, I don't know if this is a struggle though for her. Like, I think it's an added unnecessary stress that she's putting on herself. Like, people have so many reasons for having children, and in a place where they are questioned, which in my opinion, I think her questioning would be very judgmental in the subtext of how she would ask questions. Like, why are you having a child when you can't afford one? Because how's about maybe because we need the little bit of the grant that's going to come from having the child, and that's literally all we can afford right now because both myself and my partner got retrenched during COVID.
Some situations are painful.
Yeah, like you genuinely, I mean, you look at the floods that happen in KZN, there's still people living in centers right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, a cyclone done happened. It's like there's a lot that's happening that we don't know. So
this is how you know he's a pro at what he does. Did you see how quickly he segued to that tornado thing in KZN? So swiftly. I was going to introduce it. He just did it. Like, okay, maybe we should spend some time on set with you guys.
Anytime.
Ocean Gates, has that been concluded now?
It
Like,
has.
we know it was a geyser or whatever that thing was.
Oh my.
With no
Is
seats.
this that thing that went down?
Yeah.
So I saw this video, and it Okay, now I'm not big on like politics and stuff. So this video was this guy basically debunking what happened throughout those 4 days. And he was like, first of all, it didn't take them all these days to get down there. And had they gotten down there where the pressure is, however much the pressure is, it only takes a maximum of 8 hours before the thingy. So if that's the case, at best, we should have found out the next day when this thing happened.
Yeah.
Because of how the science of what. So then he's like, but back at the ranch, what was happening was, then he starts talking about how, is it Jeffrey, is it Epstein, that there was some emails that came out.
Oh, they were deleted.
That were now miraculously deleted, and then something else happened. Like there's like 3 major events that happened
happened, yeah.
whilst
Wow.
all media was just talking about this
Yeah.
situation. And I was just like,
Huh.
Imagine someone's using your flop someone's using your flop as the smoke and mirror. Like, okay, guys,
We got
someone's made a
something.
mistake. Now let's commit the crime. What?
it's like, what? So yeah, no, even just, I mean, going down there with the remote controller was just like bizarre. Bluetooth. Like
So-
Bluetooth in the car has an issue.
Oh, was it a Bluetooth? I know.
It's
I
a
saw the
Bluetooth
remote.
controller. It's a Bluetooth controller.
So, someone tweeted. When I text you this, it means I want to drown in it.
Oh my flip.
Some men out there are smart.
I mean, please just send that to me so I'm aware of such things. So I know.
And then there was another video that came out of one of the guys signing the thingy that they sign before they go on this trip. And like he read out the last clause, which was like the whole basically like you're going at your own risk, and what you could possibly experience is something about emotional whatever, physical and then the last one was death. And then it's like, where do I sign? And then people were like, these people signed their own suicide.
They knew.
Because nothing was like regulated, nothing had passed any tests. It's
So
not something.
That's my point.
You see?
I feel with all these conspiracies that are coming out, the only thing that kind of sticks is there was possibly no one in there.
Yeah, so that's another thing, which is like, let's check out these companies and see what's going on there, because you'll find that now this was just an escape route from something that's actually.
Yeah, that's how you avoid crimes.
It's so bizarre, man.
You have a death certificate and now they can't chase you. You just change your name and you're good.
But also
Oh, wow.
Titanic is.
I'm not saying I do this, but I mean,
How convenient.
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's good timing. In light of, I feel like the people went inside. There's so many things that don't make sense. So
Yeah.
already when you look at the video, there's no seats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Submarines have seats. I know that's not what do they call it, a submersible, whatever.
Yeah.
But you still need somewhere to sit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They showed the toilet.
That was
And the way they
bizarre.
described it, this toilet
That
has
was-
a view of
Yeah,
what?
no.
When you're underwater, it's dark. There's nothing to see.
Yeah, no, that was bizarre.
So I feel like there's some truth there, that there's a high chance that no one was on it. Plus, you took some 19-year-old boy who's fascinated about the Titanic. Let's be real. At 19,
At 19?
In this day and age.
Nah. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
But yeah.
But yeah, no, that sounds plausible.
I still want to discover like the bottom of the ocean, but the Titanic is the least of the things I want to see.
Yeah, I'm cool. I don't need to know what's down there.
You see how you're the only one. You are the
I'm
only
cool.
one.
It's because I'm curious.
No, you
gotta
are just
ask people
crazy.
questions.
There's
Yeah,
curious
you
and
know,
then there's crazy, and
There's
that's
some
where
things
you are.
like there's some things that we don't need to know.
The bottom of the ocean.
Hallelujah.
What?
We
We
use that
don't.
water.
No.
Yeah, you use it. So the tap where you in your kitchen in the sink.
Is where your curiosity ends.
Where?
No, guys.
No. But are you following that pipeline?
We know where that water comes from.
Do you really?
Yes, well,
Do you wait-
hopefully.
From where?
Joburg water.
Yeah, bo.
Right?
Yeah, bo.
Yes, our delivery.
Now you wanna go to Umhlanga, go down, and then possibly come back to tell us what you saw starfish.
Exactly.
like
Do you think if one were to
Exactly.
go down the Indian Ocean in Umhlanga, you'd see like a leopard tank top at the bottom?
nah.
You see, you like starting things. You don't play with those people. Eh? One thing about them is that you don't start with them.
Or a taxi.
Don't Also, they respect things like that. So yeah, no.
Chef in Australia bans vegans from his restaurant after an argument.
Hectic.
He was in an altercation with a customer and he's like, that's it. No more vegans. That was the solution.
Hectic.
Not, okay, let's mediate and have a conversation. He said, you know what, I'm done with you guys. But also, vegans are a problem. They're announcing everything.
I mean,
I don't want to.
yeah, that like titling it vegans are a problem. I don't know about that. But maybe some people who happen to be vegan are a problem. I think the issue at hand might be that we want something clean. We want something healthy. We want to do this whole saving the animals and all of that, which is, it's great. It's fantastic. But I think that there's not enough knowledge that we know about the very things that we're doing. Because when you are eating all of this plant-based stuff, which plants? Are they GMO plants? Is that even healthy?
Wait, is that a question you're asking?
No,
now?
that's a genuine question.
But when you go to restaurants, you're not asking that question.
No, because I'm not wanting the vegan option.
Okay.
Because I know if I'm going to a restaurant, there's probably roaches at the back. Like already, it's not like
Yeah.
I'm
Don't
not.
go
Yeah,
and ask what's at the bottom of the ocean, basically.
basically,
Basically.
because what I've
That's
heard
good.
is that this whole vegan, and this is not for the people who are vegan, but the whole vegan mission is part of the matrix, right? In the sense that people woke up to processed foods and all of that, so then they started to stay away from the things that will make them sick so that the pharmaceuticals can keep making the money that they need to make. So then they introduced this healthy thing called being vegan. But in actual fact, the very things that you are eating within being vegan that are plant-based have the very properties that you find in processed food, which then takes you back to pharmaceuticals. So that's why you have people who lack iron and a whole bunch of other deficiencies based on being vegan. Now, this is just hearsay. I'm not Professor Spangmang. I'm just saying that when we indulge in these things, we need to know what it is that we're indulging in, because sometimes we just follow the flock and don't realize actually that this is not for me.
I've got a gripe with the flock, right?
You call them the flock.
Call them the flock.
This is how cults are started, guys. Once they have a group name, you know it's done.
Right? Because with the whole KZN cyclone and et cetera, and how brothers and sisters of the faith jumped into that and said, if we, then there's the quoting of, if we all, turn back to God and, all of that, he will hear us and he will save our land. And I was like, okay, guys, how about we just go back to the beginning of not messing up Earth, and then we won't have these weird kind of incidents, right? So just like with vegans, where they say that if you don't destroy the Earth by eating in excess of or eating that kind of thing or whatever, I don't want to say Mother Earth, but Earth will be around for much longer, and you won't have all of these weird incidences. But now the church has jumped in on some, we need to turn back to God. And I'm like, but God gave us this home and said, look after it. Here's the rules and regulations. Don't mess it up. And then what we do is we go and we mess it up. So now there's weird, weather stuff happening. And then we go and turn it back to God on some, save our land, we are sorry. How does that work?
It doesn't work. It doesn't
Because
work.
that's where everybody is now.
Yeah.
That's the chat that I've been seeing on social media, on WhatsApp, on everything. That, guys, we need to remember who we are. We need to go back to praying. We need to remember who God is. And I'm like, God knows exactly who he is. He knows exactly what he gave us. Why are we turning this situation into that kind of conspiracy?
No, we need to stop acting like we're God ourselves. Because, you have this whole mission where they're trying to control the weather by, I think it's 2035 or something like that. When you see all of these white sprays and all of that stuff, it's actual chemicals and stuff that they're spraying, which is in aid to try and control and manipulate weather. And it's like, yeah, that's why you'll have freak things that start to happen in places where they shouldn't be happening because lidirang. You know, playing God is such a huge, I think, disability for humans, which just needs to come to an end like very quickly.
But I guess everyone's their own fight is righteous.
Yeah.
You won't get into something and think. I guess when you get pulled into something for long enough, you're gonna think this is the right way to go, and everyone else doesn't know what they're talking about. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what it is. Whether it's faith, whether it's a culture or a way of living or a lifestyle choice, you're always gonna think your fight's righteous. And I think it's only like these kind of conversations where you can go, we need to have opposing people at a table who can just sit and talk, because there's there's more that connects us than that which divides us. And that's always been something I stand on. Especially in the faiths, when you have Christian people and Muslim people saying we are two opposing worlds. No, there's a lot that actually connects you guys. And if you read the theology of both books, you'll be shocked that they're not your enemy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just my view. We're going to go 5 minutes left. So I'm going to run through this quickly and you guys can say what you're thinking. Rihanna steps down as CEO.
From?
Of Savage Fenty.
Fenty.
What do you mean from?
I mean, if I
this
had
is
said
Ndlovu.
from, maybe you could have said what you mean from. But I mean, it's, you know.
He's married.
So then?
So then,
You should know Savage Fenty.
No.
if she doesn't use Savage Fenty, then what?
Which she doesn't. But anyway.
Mrs. Ndlovu, if you want Savage Fenty, now, yeah.
Now's the time.
I have no comment, comrade.
I think it's a good move. She's trying to grow the business. I like CEOs or entrepreneurs who understand that.
Yeah.
And I think in South Africa we have very selfish business people because they want to own the baby.
They want to
start.
own, yeah.
And sometimes you got to just give it away if you want to see it grow. Like
But
the
does she
Twitter
still
guy.
have a role within the business?
Probably. Like is it Jack Dorsey, Twitter? He knew the right time to step away from Twitter.
Yeah.
Because he said, I'm not the right guy to take it up. Those people I want to listen to, like Tuli Maronzela as well, when they said, you must run for president. She said, I'm not educated to be president. That's why I should be president. Not the people who say I have all the answers. Jonathan Majors appears in court with Megan Good hand in hand. Oh, there's a lot that's going on with Jonathan Majors. Apparently, he might be innocent. There are witnesses saying he didn't lay a hand on anybody.
I also heard before this whole Megan Good thing, I heard that there were witnesses, you know, and I was like, why is it dragging for so long then? Because it was a while back that I heard that there were witnesses that said that he actually was looking for help for.
Apparently, he called the cops.
Yeah, he's the one that called the cops. Look, I think, you know, when it comes to domestic situations, it's always tricky. But I always say we can't stand from a point of guilty and one must prove themselves innocent.
Yeah.
Unless there's evidence that proves you guilty from the jump, then okay. But you should be innocent until proven guilty.
Okay, but wait. Now,
Because that gets us into situations where now you're cancelled and then jiggy 5 years later we find out that you're innocent.
okay, that's a very good point. And I agree with innocent till proven guilty. But considering the country we live in, I want to ask you, do you think it's still wise for people to take the woman's side first all the time now? Because that's been the norm in South Africa. There's been an unnecessary rise in gender-based violence. And I think us, even as men, we're going, if a woman complains or says something, we're going to believe her.
Yeah.
Do you think that's still a healthy approach to have right now?
I think it's a cautious approach. We have to approach it cautiously because you just never know, man. It's so difficult. It's really difficult. And this is now from experience where I decided that I'm not going to go to court because of the questions that were going to come my way. I was trying to save my own sanity, but more importantly, I was trying to save the people that were around me, you know. I didn't want them to be in this thing, right? So I decided to keep quiet. I know of people who were unfairly accused, you know, of either rape or harassment or whatever it was. And I only know of the gentleman because I know of the woman that accused them. She was looking for some sort of attention and whatever, and then she went to court and said, this is it. And then when she saw that, okay, maybe this is too much for me, or now I'm getting the attention that I was looking for, she retracted. So I know of both sides of that thing, but I would suggest that still for now, let's believe the woman. I do believe in innocent until proven guilty, but there's just so much that you go through. There's only so much you can prove even in a rape case. Let's say for example it's rape, right? You freaked out, you run home. The first thing you want to do is get this person off you. You are advised not to have a bath, go to the police station. That on its own is a pandemic, you know. So you go home, you bath, you whatever, and then tomorrow or a few days later, you come to yourself and you're like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I actually want to go forth and, you know, go to court and get this guy in jail. But now you've got to answer, what were you wearing? Why didn't you come sooner? You know, why? And then you end up being the accused instead of the victim, right? So for me, it's very, very tricky. I just feel sorry for the men who are accused, just like that boy, was it last year, who committed suicide after he was incorrectly, you know, when he was accused of rape, and that wasn't the case. So there's so many men that are going through that. I know of a man who his girlfriend passed away. She was ill and she passed away, and then they blamed it on him, you know, and he can't. It's difficult. I can see how he's struggling to get past that. And that wasn't rape. It wasn't, you know, anything of that sort. She was genuinely ill, but because of the nation that we are, we don't believe in autopsies and all of that stuff. So we don't really know, you know, how she passed away. We just blame it on the guy because surely it must be him. So
because I never liked him to begin with.
I never liked him to begin with. So surely, you know, so it's
look,
it's dangerous.
I'm not taking away from anything that you've shared. I completely agree with you from your standpoint. I think something that we have to be accommodating of is the fact that when one does, and our police system and all of that has completely failed us completely, from women to men, it's completely failed us. But when we look at the very process you're talking about, which is there'll be asked questions like, why didn't this happen? Why did this? Where were you? All of those things. What were you wearing? Blah, blah, blah. The very amount of attention that is required is necessary.
Yeah.
Because of the very justice you want laid on this individual that has done whatever wrong to you.
Yeah.
So I think it's important that we understand that this is a severe thing that is about to happen to either individual.
Yeah.
And has to be appreciated at that magnitude. If our systems were working fine, then we'd have a very well-just system. But because we don't, people don't even know that more boys are sexually abused in our country than girls. Hence, we have a gender-based violence situation that we have. Because why? Which institution is dealing with little boys? Tell me one name right now. Even you, comment down below, let's see.
Yeah.
Because we don't know. So because of all of the different things that happen, we end up having what we have. And the reason why I stand with innocent until proven guilty is because we have so many instances where someone will do a Facebook post. I see this so often. And they'll say, so-and-so raped me. Then it's trends, it's shared, it's comments. Now after 3 hours, no, I was just joking, guys. It's like, whoa.
Oh, man.
You don't play with that. And every other person that has falsely or by joking or whatever accused an individual for whatever it is, male or female, what repercussions have they had? Because there's no repercussions for them, we continue to see this thing happen.
Yeah.
Because if there were repercussions, then you would know that when I go forward, and again, with a system that works, because our system doesn't, then you know that I'm taking the step because I will get justice, and not just for clout.
But just like with the doctor, if we could add, and I don't know what the whole thing is with studying to be in law enforcement or in the health system or whatever, but when it comes to educating people over pregnancies, the last place I want to go to as Ellen in my 40s now is a clinic, a public clinic, because you will be made such a fool of in front of everybody that people don't. I'd rather not go for contraceptives than to go and stand and be humiliated in that way. If I decided that, okay, I'm going to go to the police station, I'm going to report this guy, you need to have people who are compassionate enough to know how to deal with the situation, right? Ask me all of those questions. There's a way in asking me what I was wearing without making me seem like I intentionally went to go out and, nab a guy somehow.
Yeah.
So, South Africa, we need to seriously
our
do
system
better.
is completely flawed. Like, I went to the police station with a family member of ours, and it was a gender-based violence situation. And I genuinely was just like, man, this is scary. The mere fact that she couldn't get help, not from the front of the police station, we eventually went inside, spoke to Constable Spangmang. Like, it was just so bizarre to me. And I only went because I thought having someone who's popular will help.
Yeah.
It did jack. And I was just I was actually in awe of the fact that they are not even taking care of this matter with the sensibility or sensitivity that it requires. This person has bruises that you can see right now. There's video footage, there's voice notes, there's clear evidence to show you why I'm here.
Everything you need, I'm giving to you.
Then the one constable is like, but did it happen today? I was like, huh? I'm done. Wow. I wash my hands.
Yeah, no, it's terrible.
So yeah.
This is where we have to end it off. Last things. Pink, a fan threw his mom's ashes on stage while Pink was performing. Oh yeah. There's video footage of ashes being.
Okay.
Well, you don't throw ashes like that, but I mean, like, I don't know how do you.
How? Why? What was the reason?
Because they love Pink, and maybe the mom loved Pink, and Pink was also shocked. Like,
did they reach?
Yeah, she picked it up and like, these are mom's ashes.
Oh, was it in like a?
Yeah, I don't know what he threw it in. I'm still
Maybe it was Ash Wednesday.
Umlungu vibes. Umlungu vibes. Because if she picked it up and said, is this your mom?
Guys.
No, that's messy.
Abilungu.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about BET Awards, but that made me mad. We won't get to that. We've got to wrap this up. Ellen, you want to take us on?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, guys. To everybody that joined us today. I hope your Friday was good. Thank you so much to Hungani for joining us. TK, thank you so much for having us all here. And join us. Was this the last one for?
2 more left. Hold on. Oh, sorry. You're gonna continue wrapping us up.
Yeah.
Please tell everyone what's going on next Monday.
And next Monday, on the 3rd of July, Scheme Sam, I will be debuting. So definitely tune in. It's my first episode, and it's about to be some fire. You can find me on all social media platforms at Ndlovu. And if you are keen to watch myself and my wife, catch us on the Ndlovu's Uncut everywhere.
Dope.
Actually, sorry, before you wrap up, so we have a short film that's coming out very soon. But maybe I can come back. Maybe it'll be part of season 2, and then we can chat about the short film. It's actually about gender-based violence.
Dope.
Nice.
Can I come say problematic things?
I mean, if you want to.
Yeah. I'll grab the mic.
It's your opinion.
All you men are wrong. You're going to hell, all of you. Start there.
Do they have to be Indian, though?
Oh, wow.
Okay, right. Take us home. Just like.
I'm shocked. To Maharaj, to Mr. Singh, to Mr. Patha, please forgive my mates over here. They didn't mean it. Okay, guys. So thank you so much for joining us. We've got 2 more left before we wrap up this. It's 2 more, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, before we wrap up. And remember to like, comment, subscribe, interact with us. We really, really love it. See you next week. Remember that we love you. Be safe. Condomize, please. It's free. It really is free. Get educated. Just hold on with your banana-flavored condoms, okay? Get educated. If you don't know, find out from somebody that can help you. There's always somebody that's willing to help. We love you. Happy Friday. Happy weekend. Be safe, and we will see you next week.
Dope. We good?
So you like